Yom Taroik Al Afikem Kein Nafshi Zaroik Kein Nafshi Zaroik Eilecho Elokim. So, Shalom Avrocha. Today is Yud Teves. Yud Teves is Asur B'Teves. It's a fast. What is the fast? The fast is that the Chanetzah started circling Yerushalayim. So, we can go, get into that, what the circling is, and basically is, getting into a place of, sometimes when you have a headache, you wrap your head, put some compression. So if you have pain in your arm, you put some compression that makes it more focused and more insulated, so you can start, applying more, directing more focus, more energy to that space. So it's like when you work out, there's the muscle that you work, that's where the blood is going. So too, it's a time where we're, starting to refocus, recenter, going into that space. But what I want to, briefly talk about is that today is the Yartzeit of Reb Nosson. Reb Nosson is again the Talmud of Reb Nachman, and anybody that is listening to what we're sharing here is, it's pretty much, we've been talking, and we always talk about a lot about from the Kutei Halachos of Reb Nosson. Reb Nosson wrote down all the Torahs of Reb Nachman. If not for Reb Nosson, there wouldn't be any Torahs of Reb Nachman. So we're going to talk a little bit about what Reb Nosson was, and not what he was. I mean, how to connect to it. So we'll go with Torah Ayin Vav from Reb Nachman, where he talks about V'yachad dvarim me'elav v'elekim nisas Avram. So he's talking there about when a person looks, when you're focused on something, there's two things happening here. There's the Or Yasher, what I'm looking at, and then there's the Or Chayzer, what's coming back at me. So what the Nachman is explaining is that when I'm looking at something and I see something, I don't necessarily see the thing, the item that I'm looking at. I'm first looking, and then depending on how far it is, depending on the cut and the shape and the material, the fabric of what it is, that sends back a signal to the eye, and that's when the image comes into the picture. That's when we're able to see it. So he's saying that haraya, that's the case, because sometimes you look at something, it passes by you very fast and you don't see it. So because you didn't have time to do a proper Or Yasher and Or Chayzer. And then he says that there could be things that you may need 2 or 3 years to see what's going on. So he's already getting into the energy of it, to the spirit, to the ruchnis of it, to the higher understanding of what he's saying. So he's talking here about that there is some things there are things that are happening in the mind's eye, stuff that we see, but because we don't know it. We're not aware. We don't know what's going on. I don't know what it means. Therefore, I don't. And also because we are in moichem de katnas, we need stuff to be explained and stuff to be opened up in order for me able to understand and see it. So therefore, I may be missing the point. We don't understand. So too, we go through in our day to day. We'll go through many different items or things that we see that we don't really see it. So we go through our journey, and I'm not really, I don't know what to look at, and I don't know what I'm seeing. And because I don't know what I'm seeing, I don't see anything, and we don't know what's going on, and I don't know what is happening. So the main thing that he's talking about is about bitachon. It's like if we have bitachon and amunah, if you have amunah and bitachon, then you're able to right away, it bounces back at you, and you're able to see because it's not I'm not overlooking it, right? When I'm looking at something that's endless, I look at the end of the ocean, I don't see anything. It's just endless. It opens up, it's endless. But if there's something in front of me, if something stands in front of me, if there is a limitation to it, then it can bounce back and it sends me back the message, and I'm able to make out the object. So if I'm looking into my journey and I don't know what I'm looking at, I don't have amunah, I don't have bitachon, I'm not holding on to anything, and I'm not really sure or certain, or I don't have a goal, I don't know what I'm looking at. So he's like, that's endless, and you don't know, you can't see it, and we keep missing the point, and that's part of the struggle, is that we're distracted, mainly because we are, we think we judge, we estimate our journey based on someone else's journey. We don't know any better. I don't know my journey. I only know what I see by others. So what's happening here is that, it goes into Gevil Zman. It's very, it's a very, we spoke about it once or twice, but it's a beautiful understanding about how to see and how to view things from this Torah. But mainly is that Reb Nosson was there's something called Oises Ravriven. They're big letters. Now Oises is they're small letters. Reb Nosson he wrote a lot. The whole Likutei Halachos it's a lot of letters and repetitive, and he says it in his Akdama that I'm rewriting stuff, but there is a purpose in this. And just even if you think that you heard it already, just listen to it again, because every time it's hitting from a different angle until there's an opening. There's an opening. That you get a moment of opening. That's when you have a breath of air, and that's when you can actually ground and have a breakthrough. So Rav Nosson gives us the small letters. He gives us the small words. He gives us the words, that the stop signs, that the concepts are not so foreign, that the concepts are not unknown. He makes it known and he makes it tangible. He gives me some sort of goals. They're the daily goals, the weekly, the month, the year, my 10 or 20 life goals. That Rav Nosson is basically giving us some, It gives us the oisius. It gives us the letters that I can see what I'm seeing, and I'm not missing what the message is, and I'm not wasting time looking for something that is not really what I need to see. Therefore, I don't see anything, and I keep missing the point, and we keep going repetitions. We're having the breakthrough by being broken down, rather than having the breakthrough by becoming something, by evolving. It's a big difference, right? Big difference about going into a process and overloading the system where you have a breakdown, a meltdown. It's a way, it works. But if you're not from the old generation, there's no reason for you to have a breakdown. Rather, you can have a breakthrough, a meltdown, an opening, a peek into have a yashar. I know where I want to go, and immediately I'm receiving back. So it's I don't have to get all all tangled up and go through hardship, but there's enough of that. So it's able to, so Rav Nosson gives us the opportunity to have a process of masikas, to have a process of going into your geula, going into your redemption, going into your to getting out of your gullus from a place of masikas, from a place of ava, a place of love, compassion, and to embrace rather than breaking down. There is the fuel, and then there is the hybrids, and then there's the electric. The new way is the electric. It's silent, it's quiet, it can be sweet, it can be soft, it doesn't have to be so harsh. Unless if you really want it that way, then there's that too. It's what you put out, that's what ultimately comes back. Right? So, that's that. I think that's the point. The point is to celebrate today. Today is an opportunity, that is Adam Shitamad B'Shavah, Shani Yochel V'Schat Shemuch, Shibkat Senoch, B'Chinas Erkim, Dina Shel Chinas Achar Advarim. He's talking about a person that is that there's Shalei B'Tzimah. He gets into something is that if he says that you should stop learning in a moment, you should take a break. So you create a thirst, something that you do always again and again. You want to create excitement, right? You want to have a little break from one coffee to the other. You want to feel that pull, so you can enjoy that and really embrace it. And that's in a place when we're in Moichan the Katnas. When I'm in the Katnas, then I don't really I don't have the excitement. I don't see the point, and I don't see, and I'm out of the process. I'm basically processing thin air. But then there is the Moichan the Gadlus, that we're going to Moichan the Gadlus, so that I'm able to see it, and that is the opportunity today for each and every one. That's the energy of today. That's where the mazal is gover. In the day of his talk, it's called the Aliyah, the Hilulah, where he goes up. He goes up, because that's when his light is, there's a vacuum that comes and takes the neshama. Like there's a light that comes, there's a stronger light that comes and takes the neshama out of the body. So there's a stronger light, especially tzaddikim. They go from the light. They go from the missing a shikin, where they go from a place of they just have a nostalgia. It's not a death. They don't die. They have a nostalgia. They get elevated. And today's the day that it opens up. That light is revealed. So it's a tunnel, and we want to enter underneath the tunnel. It's like a light that's above, and you want to go in underneath it. So light a candle. Put in something small in a pushka, a couple of pennies, a couple of nickels, dimes for the English for Reb Nosson. Don't know Ben, but Reb Nosson, everybody knows who Reb Nosson is. Reb Nosson, the Nachman's Talmud. And from the small letters, from the small oisias, that's when we start. It opens up and it starts creating, and then you'll find your breakthrough. Surprisingly, you'll find it in simplicity, just by having a moment of embracing yourself, being at peace with yourself. Being compassionate to yourself, compassionate meaning that I'm just happy. I'm just content with what I am. I'm content with my simplicity. I'm content with my coffee. I'm content with my davening, my prayer, my tefillah, my tefillin, my putting my child, giving my child a hug, putting her in the bus, my spouse. I'm just being grateful. I'm being grateful, or seeing each other in the struggle rather than in the seeing each other in the struggle from a place of compassion rather than seeing each other in the struggle from a place of resentment. Because if I have compassion for myself, then I can start seeing my partner from a place of compassion. And when I see it from that place, that is the small letter that will also open up that person. The opposite will open up that. That means that's the Or Chayzer. In other words, if I look at it, if I'm looking at it from the Or Yasher, if I have a staklos, if I'm looking at that person from that place of compassion, then the Or Chayzer is, remember, what I see is what I get back. So that Or Chayzer is going to be from a place of compassion. That person can find the compassion within themselves, and that's Gagla Chayzer. It goes around, and it goes outside of your immediate circle, and that keeps growing and keeps embracing, and we can all enter under this amazing light of Reb Nosson. Have an awesome day, and an easy fast if you are fasting. It's a short one, so you could do it, I think, by like 5 o'clock, I think, 5:15, you can already eat, depending on where you're from. If you join Chabad, then you can probably eat a few minutes earlier. Fine. See you all on the other side. Cham L'Racha.